Welcome to Annapolis Mosaics. Our show spotlights people in our city who are designed to promote good human relations. I am Michael Keller, the chair of the Annapolis Human Relations Commission and your host. The commission is a city board that works to ensure equal opportunity and to eliminate discrimination. My guests today are Larry Griffin, the founder and president of We Care and Friends, and Julie Shea, the president of its board of directors. We are filming today from the Stanton Community Center in Annapolis, which houses We Care and Friends. Larry and Julie, welcome to Annapolis Mosaics.
Thank you for having us.
Well, my first question is, could you tell our viewers a little bit about We Care and Friends and what it is dedicated to do?
Well, We Care and Friends, this program started in 1990 because I was a product of being a drug addict myself and being homeless. And I decided on starting to work with folks that was falling through the cracks of life. And I dedicated myself in being compassionate and consistent to try to help these folks out as much as we can. Our program is just, like I said, just to really help these folks that's having a bad time.
Mm-hmm. One of the activities that you've been involved in is trying to connect needy people with resources such as work, clothing, housing, food, and the like. Could you tell our viewers a little bit about what that all involves?
Well, we help folks in many different ways, from substance abuse. We help folks to get off of drugs or whatever kind of substance abuse they're on. We also work with the kids. We have programs we have a program called School on Water. We have programs that we have kids drumming. We try to get tutors in to help the kids to, educate themselves more and also being a better person. We are the free social workers of Annapolis. And everybody comes to our office and talk to us about some problems that they have. And what we try to do, if we cannot do it, we find somebody else to do it. So it basically is just let these folks know that they have somebody that will support them, somebody that they can trust, and somebody that can be consistent in helping them in many different ways.
Okay. All right. You mentioned that you've got programs that are designed to help youth, and you're engaged in the mentoring of youth, and you mentioned the School on the Water. What's that all about?
Well, School on the Water started about actually 3 years ago. I worked around boats and were in the water all my life, so I know a lot of these kids don't even know what a life jacket is and ever been on a boat. So I started out with a group called Box of Rain, which I'm still a founder of Box of Rain, one of the founders of Box of Rain. And I decided on to start this program because even though you're teaching the kids about the boats and about the water and everything, but also you need to teach about life skills, how to respect yourself, to respect others, how to love yourself, and just to show them that there's a different way than being in the neighborhoods. So we actually take them out to different areas to meet different people. We're going to be taking them to New York pretty soon. We take them to Baltimore, DC, Ocean City to see other folks. A lot of these kids don't know that it is other kids out here in the worst places than they are. So we want them to understand that it ain't just all good in the country. It's still some bad things that's happening too. But we just want to teach them life skills. And we got 35 kids that we're working with. We have counselors that working with me on this, and also we're working with a gentleman. He's a pastor named JR who actually came to our life saving by bringing his bus and stuff around. But our ultimate thing is teach these kids, get them the education, get them to respect each other, see things that they probably would never ever see, and just let these kids know that there's another way of living than getting into trouble. And that's what School of Water is.
You also have a yearly toy drive
Yes.
for children. Could you provide us some details about how that works?
Well, two things that we do. Actually, we have the Thanksgiving dinner, which is annual every year. That's catered to the families. Then we do a toy drive here. We actually give the toys out during Christmas Eve. And we have a committee who's starting to work on that right now. But when I started, I think we started with 300 kids, and now it's grown bigger than that. So.
And how many? How does it work in terms of it? In other words, if you have a toy drive, you need to be able to get the toys. Who provides the toys? What's the process? Do children have an opportunity to indicate the kinds of toys that they would like? How does it all work?
Well, you're asked to ask the parents or go out and find folks to help us out to get the right type of kids and the right family. And when I say that, you have some parents out here that is working and can afford to buy their kids, but they try to get more stuff. Certain things we do not get for them. Everybody wants an iPod. Everybody wants a laptop. That doesn't work, you know, and that because it costs money. We go around to different stores, different business. We send flyers out and letters and ask folks to donate stuff to us. And it's very, very successful, especially with this lady, Miss Julie here, has helped us out a lot. And she's got a group of folks together to do a lot of adopting families. We give them a list of what they want, and they come up with most of the items.
Yeah. Julie, could you elaborate on this?
I have a group called Good Neighbors Group, which is out in Severna Park, basically, but we welcome anybody who wants to participate. And we do a whole bunch of things to help nonprofits in the area. We Care is obviously one of my favorites. And for Christmas, around Christmas time, I look to people involved in my group to help sponsor families for the holidays. So Larry and Dolores and our administrative assistant will receive families who are asking for help, and they'll put down on paper some of the things that their family needs or their children want. And then I work with families in my area to get a couple of families together or one family to sponsor those people and just put together whatever they can. And then we deliver the gifts. It's Christmas Eve that they're handed out. So usually before then we take care of it. We sponsored 18 families last year, and and in addition to that, Larry has his toy drives going, and that rounds out the rest for folks who were not specifically sponsored. But our goal for this year is to go up to 50 families, and we have the help of lots of other people in the community to do that.
Larry, you also made reference to your annual Thanksgiving Day dinner for needy people in the community. It's my understanding that has grown very, very nicely over the past years.
Oh yes.
19th annual this year.
That's right. Could you and Julie share a little bit about how that started and where that's been going? Julie?
Well, you want to talk about where it started?
Yeah, well, actually, I started this in 1990, and when we did our first one was at the American Legion on Forest Drive, and it started off with 600 families coming there. This thing had grown up to the biggest that we ever had was 4,000 and some people. I think now it's kind of slowed up a little bit. We deal with about 3,500 folks. And we put on free food. The restaurants around Annapolis give us food to supply. They supply it to us, and we serve it at the tables. And we have musicians that comes in free to put entertainment around, you know, so people that don't even go and see a band or listen to music, they come out and give their time. We also have a lot of volunteers, sometimes too many, too many. But that's an annual thing we do every year. And, you know, I wish we could feed them every day, but at least if we give them one good day. And I tell you, when they see me on the street or anybody they know there's a part of this, You know, they always said, man, we can't wait till Thanksgiving come in. You know, because they see the magic show and all this kind of stuff with music. And what it does, it brings folks that is having a bad time together. And also, and when the volunteers here, they play a big part because they sit down at the table and talk to them to find out. Some get jobs, some get homes, some get things like they get money for the program that we deal with drug abuse and all that. But it's a big family affair, and that's what that is, you know.
And I would just add that it's an enormous undertaking. The restaurants in the area donate almost everything. Bay Area Church donates a huge amount. There's so many different groups that donate. And ultimately, there are baskets that are given to folks also for families who can have then their own Thanksgiving celebration that they might not otherwise have. And then Larry and his drivers also bring the food out to folks who are not able to come here. So all in all, talking about, say, 3,500 people, you know, being involved, but they're all over. They're not just here in this building. This building houses quite a huge number on that Thanksgiving night. Is packed, and it's a lot of fun. It's very uplifting, and it's just great interactions. It's very nice.
Larry, you mentioned earlier that one of the activities that We Care and Friends is involved in is helping individuals with substance abuse and drug addiction. Now, it's my understanding that your organization has a 95% success rate in working with people who have substance abuse problems.
I think we need to bring that down a little bit.
Somewhere around 85.
85,
Yeah.
85%.
85.
Well, that's still, I mean,
Yeah.
but that's remarkable.
It's actually above the average of the facilities that Larry sends to. His average is higher than the facility.
Oh, I mean, but that's a phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
That's a phenomenal accomplishment rate when you consider some of the difficulties that people who are in these situations face. What's your secret?
Well, actually, the secret is that we want to get people to get in touch with Dr. G. You know, God. You know, we want to most definitely get him. You know, not to be a preacher or anything like that, but when you're on drugs, and I was a part of that, you forget a lot of things. You forget who you are. Sometimes you forget to do a lot of things that is very negative. And we hooked up with this group called Teen Challenge, and they're a Christian-based program. And it's like 240 in the whole country, but majority of them is here in the United States, 200. And they're all up and down the East Coast, West Coast. They got them in England. Italy just finally got a Teen Challenge over there. And the secret is that the folks that do not have medical card or any kind of insurance, or they don't have any money, city actually gives us a grant to supply us with this to the people in the program. It takes $750 to put a male in a year program. A lady, it takes $500 to put in for a year. Now, if you try to do that for a year, some of these places that got insurance, that's like, it's a lot of money. I know some places are $32,000, you know. So when I started working with this group Teen Challenge, it's got to the point where I'm so partnership with them now, you know, that all the Teen Challenges like Syracuse, Bridgeport, Connecticut, Rochester, New York, Buffalo, New York, they call me every week to say, do you have anybody you're setting up? Because they love Annapolis people, I guess, you know. But the thing of it is, we have a good connection with that, and it's when you have that kind of percentage, you stick with that group, you know, and we, like I said, we got a good partnership. It's a lot of folks come here. I really don't get sleep that much because I'm out in the street, you know, and I'm here, out there, or I'm on the phone talking to somebody that needs help.
We're going to take a break right now, but when we return, I'll be speaking with Larry and Julie some more about their work to help people with substance abuse problems. We have been talking today with Larry Griffin, the founder and president of We Care and Friends, and Julie Shea, who is the chair of the organization's board of directors. We have been conversing about the work that We Care and Friends is involved in terms of helping people who have substance abuse problems. So it's my understanding that the amount of money that you expend per client in terms of the programs is somewhere a little bit less than $800 a client.
Actually, it's $800 for the males because we have to put them on a bus.
Right.
The transportation. For the ladies, about what, $650, I think it was.
When you add in the cost of the
Yeah.
program
Right.
and the cost of,
Right.
say for instance, even before this interview, Larry dropped 2 people off at the bus station in Baltimore to send them up to treatment, so it's very personal care, and so when you add in the operations cost on top, that's probably where it comes out to.
Yeah. Could you tell our viewers a little bit about what you actually do? What service you actually provide to the people who come to you for help with drug-related problems?
Well, when they are ready to go, and whether I get them off the street or if they're coming here, we sit down and talk. I tell them my story. I want them to understand that I know and feel what they feel, and I know what it is about being a drug addict and being homeless. So once I start talking to them at that time about it, I kind of watch them and their reactions and see if they really want to go into the program. And once they tell me they're ready to go, and you want to catch them as soon as they come to you, you know. Unfortunately, it takes us about 2 or 3 days to get them away because they have to go through a physical. We're partnership with the clinic here. They take the physical like blood work, TB tests, and a regular physical. Once they get that comes back all right. We send that paperwork to whatever program, like the women program, we send them to Garrison, New York. The men, like I said, Rochester and Syracuse. And once they get that paper, I have to get them on the phone. They talk to the intake person there. Intake person tell them what the rules and regulation is and what the program is all about. Then they get me on the phone, they ask me, when you want to send them? I say, I want to send them the next day. So I have to help them get their clothes together, hopefully that they have ID. And all these questions are asked when I sit down with them, because you got to have ID when you go out of town or anything like that. And once we get all of that together, then I take them to the bus station, get them on the bus, pay for their bus fare, give them a check saying Teen Challenge or whatever, and they take it straight to the place and call them when they get to Rochester. And it's just that easy. But they got to want it. You know, just don't come here because the police is running after you or your wife don't want you to come home or something like that. You got to come here because you want to get clean and sober.
Well, you know, that's really a remarkable amount of services that you provide, considering the cost. And that's why I asked about the cost. I think in terms of just cost effectiveness, you have an enormous amount of work and provide an enormous amount of resources to people who are in an obviously very pressure situation.
Right.
And so that's why I raised that. People also have stereotypes about drug addicts. The first thing that comes to their mind is an African American, low income man. That stereotype isn't quite accurate, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Tell us.
Well, I can tell you, give you some examples. I had a gentleman who was very, very wealthy, but he was losing his money because he was a dentist. He was a professional dentist, and he went and tried it in the big programs, and he didn't stay. And he finally came here and talked to me, and he owned a big house, and like I said, all that. And he came here and talked to me about it. But 3 weeks later, he came back to me and was ready to go. So now he went to the program and graduated from the program. He's actually working for the program now, doing his dentist work. So the program is for everybody. It's not just for low-income people. It's not just for poor. It's not just for rich. It doesn't It's for anybody who needs help. So this, if you look at the economy today and how people who actually lose their homes and people was actually losing their job that's been working for 20-some years or 18 years, guess what? A lot of them are now coming through these doors because they're starting to drink, trying to drink their problems away, starting to do drugs, do that, and you know, so it can happen to anybody. It doesn't make no difference what color you are, and it don't make no difference where you're from, what culture you're from. Drugs doesn't have a name. You know, drugs doesn't discriminate. You know what I mean? Alcohol doesn't discriminate. So it can happen to anybody. And like you're right, a lot of folks think that if you're black and they live in a small income place and they think that's only folks that go on and get the drugs and stuff. Nah, I deal with all cultures that come through the door. And like that one incident I just told you about, there's many more. I had a lawyer that came to me from Annapolis, and I have helped her to get into a program. So now she does a lot of work for the one in Syracuse, New York. So.
You asked before about Larry's extremely high success rate, and it is We Care and Friends, but Larry is We Care and Friends. And I think this, like he's expressing, no one comes to We Care and Friends and is not helped in some way, whether it's a referral, whether it's personal attention, whatever it is. Nobody comes here and is turned away. And I think that is one of the true assets of We Care, is that he's available 24 hours to his own detriment. And but people are received. Doesn't matter what color, nationality, anything. I mean, people come and everybody receives the same kind of personal attention. Larry, in addition to the other work that he does that takes the 2 days to get somebody or 3 days to get somebody into treatment, he also helps with legal issues. He helps intervene with the police. He's got personal connections in the court system here and in the through the police, where he has these historic attachments. He's been here long enough, and people know his name and they know his reputation. And people do come. I think some of it is self-selecting as part of the reason for the success, because they come because of the reputation Larry has. And the success breeds the success, because then people come back and they come back to their community, and their families see how well they're doing, and their friends see how well they're doing, and they want their life to be as successful as that person, and they want to get help, and they know where to go to get it. And it's a great program, a full year. People get counseling, GED, job training. They can come back with as many skills as they want.
Oh, yes.
And when they come back, they're not just set loose on the street. Larry's notified when folks are coming back, so he knows to receive them. And We Care and Friends helps people find homes when they come back, repair with their families while they're away, before they go, when they come back. Helps with any kind of emergency and crisis situation. Helps people find jobs when they return, get into GED programs if they haven't done it. Any number of things. So the attention is so personal, and there's somebody that you're accountable to. So each client is kind of accountable to We Care. And I think that really is part of the tremendous success that Larry has.
Larry,
I'm his biggest fan, by the way.
well, We Care and Friends is very much, as Julie said, associated with you, Larry. You are We Care and Friends, and We Care and Friends are you. And you've dedicated your life to this and be associated with it, and the wonderful work that you're doing. You've made reference earlier to your background and your experiences in life, which led you to this. If you're comfortable, could you share a little bit about this with our viewers and how it moved you to become dedicated to the wonderful work that you're doing for clients and being available 24/7 for people who are in need?
Well, my background in the drug addiction was like 28 years of doing drugs, and in my last 15 years, what they call crack back then, they was calling it freebasing, all the same. I did that for my last 15 years of my drug addiction. And it put me in a lot of different things. I didn't have certain times I didn't have places to sleep. My family played a big part that wouldn't let me into the house, which I'm glad they didn't, because you can do things to your family that really they will never support you. I did that for, like I said, for 28 years, and I was homeless for about a year and a half, and I just got tired. I got tired, and I called a friend of mine. His name is Randy Rao. He's a professor at Morgan State. And I talked to him, and I said, look, man, I need help, and I really need to get on the place. And from there, he got me into a place called North Arundel Hospital. They had a detox center up there, which they don't have anymore now. And I stayed there for 7 days, but I went to Hope House up in Crownsville for 28 days. But while I was in there, I realized that there was still some folks out there that I know was still still doing drugs, and I wondered what I could do when I get out of the program. And I took 2 years of my life to do my own inventory of myself to see if I'm ready to help somebody else. Then in 1990, I went to Jerry Hardesty downtown and said, Jerry, I need you. In fact, I started working back then. And I said, Jerry, I need to use your property for a clothing and food drive. And we did that, and I didn't think we was going to get that many people coming. But cars was rolling up with canned goods. I think Safeway came down with a whole box of steaks. We ain't had nowhere to put them in, but we did get them into a refrigerator. But it just got real big. And then I saw guys that I used to get high with, and I saw homeless folks walking past there. And I said, I'm going to do more than that. And I started in 1990 to do this. And I wouldn't have done this if I hadn't went through what I had to go through the drugs and stuff like that. I don't know what I probably would have been still out there doing drugs if I haven't got myself together. But you got to be compassionate when you do this. And you have to be a person that respect yourself and love yourself and believe in helping folks. And I decided that's what I wanted to do, because I saw so many, young and old, still out there doing the same thing. And then when you see a 9-year-old kid that's out there on drugs, then you got a very, very bad problem. And I decided that I'm going to stick with this. I try to get out of this, but Dr. G upstairs is not going to let me go. Okay, and I decided I'm going to stick with it until I leave this planet.
One of your dreams is the establishment of a safe haven which would allow addicts to have a smoother transition from the street. How do you plan to go about doing this, and why do you think it's important?
Well, if a person come to me and asking for help, the problem that we have is when they come, they got 3 days to do whatever, waiting for their resources coming back. The problem is that where do they go from in 3 days? So they go back in the same community, and next thing you know, they get frustrated, and they're back on doing drugs, and then I won't see them. Having a safe house is a place where they come. When they come here, we tell them, bring your bags. We'll take you to this place. This is where you're going to stay until you leave, by having somebody supervise this. It's not a place that they just sleep and eat and everything. They also will go to have meetings there. They'll keep the property up and all that. And then when their day come, then we just put them on the bus that day. You want to catch a drug addict right then and there when he comes in and asks for help. And if you just give them to fill all their papers up, go through the physicals and everything like that, you got to have some place that they can go to stay safe. And not only that, if they come back, we still have a place for them to stay until they get their own places, at that time. So,
how can people get information about We Care and Friends? I'm sure many of our viewers today are going to say, what a great organization. I'd like to volunteer. I'd like to contribute to it. How do they find you?
Well, I can give you a number. The number is 410-263-2874. That's our office number. I will give you my cell number, but that's too much. That thing blow up on me sometimes. But we're at the Stanton Center, which is 92 West Washington Street. Mrs. Hawkins, who is my administrative assistant, she's here every day. So you can get in contact with, set up an appointment with her, and she'll let me know, and I'll be here for you. But that's the number.
They can check our website too,
Oh, I'm sorry.
wecareandfriends.com,
Okay.
which is going to be revamped, so keep watching.
All right. We have been talking today with Larry Griffin, the founder and president of We Care and Friends, and Julie Shea, the president of the organization's board of directors. Thank you for joining us on Annapolis Mosaics, and please view our program again. If you would like to have more information about the Annapolis Human Relations Commission, please jot down the information that's on your screen. You can reach us at 410-263-7998 or by email at hrcommission@annapolis.gov. You can also check out our page on the City of Annapolis website. Click on to www.annapolis.gov and then click City Government, Boards and Commissions, and then scroll down to the Annapolis Human Relations Commission. And remember the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "We have flown the air like birds and swum the seas like fishes, but have yet to learn the simple act of walking the earth as brothers and sisters."